and welcome to a new vlog. I am in a really good mood today. A couple of reasons really. The weather is absolutely beautiful, and secondly, I've started to do my Feldenkrais again, and I've kind of set up my room upstairs. We've got a spare room that I kind of use to sit sometimes and do my editing, but I've set it up now as my Feldenkrais room, and I absolutely love doing this. I hadn't been doing it for a while. I really notice that when I do Feldenkrais, how much more connected I feel to my body. I feel connected to my posture, to my breath, and even actually affects my mood as well. It's such a gentle but really, really powerful way to move the body, and it really agrees with me. So for now, I'm going to make myself a really lovely cup of tea. Mind you, all cup of teas are nice, aren't they? And then I'm going to pop outside because it is the time of year that I have to do one of my very important garden tasks, and that is plant my garlic. I am planting garlic. Yay! These are whoppers. I get my garlic from Marshall's. If you're in the UK, they're a seed and plant, veg plant and garlic company. And they do really, really good quality stuff. So that is going into my bed. I started planting already because I was doing some weeding in the kitchen garden beds, but I'm going to continue now because I'm going to weed the other side of the bed. And what I'll do is I'll show you how I plant my garlic, because instead of dedicating a whole bed to the garlic, I just plant around the outside of the bed, because garlic needs to stay in for a good, I will be harvesting this garlic, I would say next June. And in the meantime, I can have lots of stuff in the bed. And I've made a mistake in the past of planting up dedicated beds, and then I haven't got any room for anything else. So you could plant in between stuff. So I've got spinach, I could plant in between that if I wanted to. But no, I do it around the outside edges. And I also do it with my onions, and I do it with my salad onions or spring onions, whatever you want to call them. Right, so I'm going to show you what you do. So what you do is you just get your garlic bulb, like so, break it open, like you would if you're going to take the cloves out for cooking. And these are whoppers, these cloves. They're really, really good. I like to always buy garlic rather than use my own, because it never really comes good. And this garlic is specifically bred for planting. So I just take the cloves out and then pull the cloves off like so. There's a clove of garlic. And then I've been going along here, the edge of this bed here, and I'm planting them about as big as a garlic bulb is going to get. So I would say about 3 inches, 4 inches apart, just to give them a little bit of room. And as I come along here, when I come along here, I'll show you what I'm doing. I'm right up against the edge of this bed, and then you can see I have got kale in this bed growing. There we are. This is the first one here that you can see. I am pushing the garlic cloves into the bed, into the soil, like so, and just to where the top of them is, and that's where the top of the soil is. No deeper. Last year I planted them a little bit deep, and they took forever to come up, and some of them did rot as well. And that's it. So all the way along this bed here, that's how I plant my garlic. And I do it in lots of beds. I do it with my spring onions, I do it with my normal onions. I just plant right to the corner here and let them just get on with things. And then I just put the soil over the top, mark out which varieties I've got in here. The only thing I didn't get was my elephant garlic. I wasn't able to get some from Marshall's. I think they'd sold out. So I might still look for it. I don't know. It depends on whether we can be bothered having elephant garlic or not. So that is my garlic planting. Let me just come back up to me. Ooh, look at that. Lovely sunshine. Let's do that way. So I'm going to get on and do a little bit of work outside in the garden, and I've got a little bit more planting out of seedlings to do as well, and just really enjoy this lovely, lovely October day. If you watched my last vlog, you will have seen that I had an autumn bucket list. And on that bucket list, I said that I would like to make an apple juice hot toddy. Now, you can either make it alcoholic or you can make it non-alcoholic. I'm going to make the base, which is non-alcoholic, and then you can also add whatever you want in it. I'm thinking, let's go apple-based Calvados or brandy or something like that. But first of all, can I just show you the size of my apples this year that are on my little tree that I have in my front garden? Look at that. They're nearly as big as my head. That is amazing. And they're really super early this year as well. These are not normally ready until November. So it's been a great year for apples. And if you watch me, you will have seen that I've done dehydrating apples. I've made apple muffins. I've done all sorts of things with apples. But last year, I juiced my apples. I had quite a lot of apples. They were much smaller than this, and I juiced them. And whilst this doesn't look very palatable, this is the juice here. I froze it all, and you can see there's a bit of sediment on the bottom, but I'm going to get rid of that. And actually, that doesn't really matter because that just means it's a cloudy apple juice. And that is going to be my base of my hot toddy. I'm going to add some, I'll do some cinnamon sticks, I might do some cloves, I'll throw in some lemons, some slices of lemons as well, and then I'm going to let it simmer, I would say for about 10 minutes, so that the whole kitchen smells like autumn. You can add a splash of ginger if you want to, or you can even drizzle a bit of honey in there for an extra boost. And I like serving it in a glass because I like to see this kind of amber nectar. It makes it feel really, really comforting. Cheers, everybody. Autumn in a cup. Oh, wow, that's fantastic. You could probably do this with any apple juice, actually. But I would definitely go for the cloudy variety. It has so much more substance to it, but you could see how easy that was. I kind of changed my mind. I put some orange peel in, I did some star anise as well, and I put a little bit of honey, but honestly, it doesn't really need the honey at all. But the smell, this is autumn. Cheers. Now that the weather's turned a little bit chillier, I want to do a wardrobe refresh. I try and do it winter into spring and then summer into autumn again. And I just need to clear out what I am no longer reaching for and make space for stuff that I really, really like. This is a different angle of my trying on room. You always see my this wardrobe behind me, but I never have it open because I'm always filming from that direction. This wardrobe here, I am embarrassed to say, contains all of my clothing that I am either going to put on eBay or Vinted. I have on eBay or Vinted, and I now need to sort through it yet again. And I am embarrassed to say that I have a wardrobe full of stuff. For instance, this dress here, I've just put this on eBay and Vinted. Most of my stuff has tags on it because for some strange reason, I buy things and then I never wear them. And this dress here is perfect for this time of year. It didn't really suit me, but anyhow, we bought it anyhow. And this has now gone on Vinted and eBay. I must put a plastic sleeve over this because, like I said, it's brand new. So I've got different areas of things that I'm going to look at and maybe try on, things that I definitely know that I'm not going to wear ever again, and get power putting on eBay and Vinted, if that makes a power hour later on today, where I am going to do this and I am going to film it, because I've now got myself a template that I use on eBay. And once you get yourself a template of loading stuff, all you got to do is really take the photos. And for me, the photos are a right pain. So I have a little section on the floor near the window where I take photos. I did have a mannequin, but I seem to have lost it. How do you lose a mannequin? And then I just load them on, and I will do that this afternoon because it's a great time of year. Everyone's looking for stuff that is sustainable, and nothing's better than repurposing or recycling. So let's get on and do it. I've come into another room. I just want to talk about skincare as well, because that's another thing that I change at this time of year. As soon as that kind of central heating goes on, and we haven't had ours on yet, which is really great, only downstairs where I've got my therapy room. But as soon as the central heating goes on, I kind of switch up my skincare on my face. And I just want to show you some examples of what I mean by changing things around. The first thing I want to tell you about is my cleanser. I usually like some kind of oily cleanser or balm cleanser, but at this time of year, and then in the summer, sorry, I'm diverting it. In the summer, I like to use a foaming cleanser sometimes, but this time of year, I always go back to a balm cleanser. I find that it really nourishes the skin as well as doing its job, taking off, all the rest of the grime and everything. And I always go back to Allies of Skin. I love this this balm. This is the vitamin C and omegas cleansing balm, and as you can see, I've used quite a lot of it. So that is the first thing that I do. The second thing that I do is I kind of change my nighttime moisturizer. I do like an oil of a nighttime. I like to do a little facial massage in my skin, but one thing I do like to do as well is I like to have a heavy night cream, and I always go back to this one. This is the Rejuvenating Night Cream by Amorovitska, and it is absolutely fabulous. It's a bit pricey, but you hardly use any, and that is another thing that I go for. So I'm looking for things like ceramides. Anything that's got squalane in it is really good as well. That's really great for hydration. Anything that's kind of a natural oil as well. The other thing that I always use is an eye cream, and I love the Tatcha eye cream. This is called the Silk Peony. Again, you hardly need any at all. I think this is quite good priced actually for this little eye cream. I've shown you this before, and I will, don't worry, I will link everything below as well. And the last thing that I do is when I moisturize my body at nighttime, I like to do two things. I like to either do an Abhyanga, which is an Ayurvedic oil massage, or I like something that's kind of got essential oils in it that's going to help me sleep. My sleep pattern is a little bit weird at the moment because I'm getting hot flushes at nighttime. So I picked up this Aromatherapies Deep Relax body butter, and it's absolutely beautiful. I don't think this is the full size, but oh, it's just fabulous. If you don't use aromatherapies, I really recommend you try out their oils. So they have an oil that you can use it in the shower or the bath, and they are absolutely gorgeous. And this is part of that range. So this is the Deep Relax body balm. Also exfoliating as well, body-wise. I normally go for a very neutral exfoliator, but I like to try and get something that's got a little bit more scent now as well. I don't know what it is about the autumn, but yeah, That's really, really nice. So that's just a few things that I'm changing for my skincare. In the summer, it's much lighter. It's going for much brightening. And yeah, just a few little extra bits and pieces in my skincare routine. When I was outside earlier and I was doing my garlic, I went into the greenhouse and had a little bit of a rummage around in there. I have to clean it out. That's one thing I must remember. And I picked these absolutely fabulous chilies. These here are cayennes. So these are the chilies that when you go into the supermarket and you go into the herbs and spices row and you get cayenne powder, it's from these. And they are a great chili. They're not normally this size. This is massive this year, but they're great for drying. They dry really well. So I'm going to speed it up a little bit and I'm going to throw it into the dehydrator overnight. I've got some other chilies as well that I'm going to dehydrate. And I was looking for other herbs to dehydrate because I really, really need to get a wriggle on with preserving things and drying things. And speaking of not drying things, the things that are in season in Spain, look at these wonderful mangoes. I got these mangoes from crowd farming. They came in a box with some pomegranates and some little grapes as well. And they're organic and they are ready. And that's gorgeous. Isn't it interesting? Perfectly ripe and then dehydrated, but it's all good. So I think that's nearly my afternoon and I am going to see you out tonight when I do my little evening routine. I'll show you what I do tonight. I'll see you later. So I've got my Shakti mat out again. It's on the chair and I'm just going to put it down in a minute to unwind. So I have this nice little ritual. Sometimes I lie on the Shakti mat with my LED mask on and other times I do it separately. I think tonight I'm going to do it separately. So I'll do the Shakti on the floor, then I'll hop into bed and do my LED mask for 10 minutes. And I just find that just sets me off. I think it's the light, that red light, that just makes me nice and kind of chilled out and ready for bed. So I hope that this has inspired you a little bit to enjoy the autumn and enjoy the kind of cozy season, getting ready for the cold coming in, because it is a lovely time of year. So thank you once again for watching and don't forget to subscribe and also like my videos. And if you've got any comments, give me some ideas of what you do in the autumn for making things cozy, little recipes or little routines or rituals that you have. That would be fantastic. I will see you in the next one. Bye.